Hello everyone. Today we're going to be taking a look at a brand new high-end robot vacuum from Ecovacs, the Deebot X2 Omni. This is Ecovacs' new flagship robot, and it's loaded with all kinds of improved features. A few years ago, I tested a more basic Ecovacs robot, and this one is a substantial improvement in nearly every way. Today we'll take a look at the new features of the robot, perform all kinds of cleaning tests, and I'll show you how to take care of it. The X2 Omni features a new square design, and this form factor comes with some key improvements. Now the brush roll is closer to the front and much wider. With the new wider brush roll, it can cover the same area in fewer passes, and the wider brush improves vacuuming along edges of the room and cleaning into corners. The brush roll is now rubber and designed to be tangle-free, which we'll test shortly. They've ditched the dual side brushes, and now there's only one, which I like. Side brushes tend to scatter debris on hard floors, so I prefer if a robot has 1 or 0 instead of 2. Along with the improved brush roll, the machine has increased suction power, the highest of any Ecovacs robot, and it features a larger battery to accommodate the increased power. Mopping robots have come a long way in the last few years, and the X2 Omni features a great mopping setup with 2 large counter-rotating brushes. The mop pads are able to lift higher than any other robot at 15 millimeters. They auto-lift when the robot goes onto carpeting and drop back down on hard floors. If you just want to vacuum hard floors, they can stay lifted, and they're removable altogether if you want to run the machine without them. The X2 Omni features a new navigation system. Ecovacs calls it a semi-solid-state LiDAR system. The LiDAR navigation is now integrated inside the robot, and instead of a spinning disc on top of the machine, it operates using an internal moving mirror to see its surroundings. This gives the robot a lower profile, which is great for cleaning under furniture. Overall, I've found the new navigation to be quite good. Along with the new LiDAR, the robot has an AI-assisted navigation option called AIVI. This helps increase the obstacle avoidance to help prevent it from grabbing loose objects off the floor. It works, but I have found with it on, it avoids things like my kitchen mat, treating it like an obstacle. Edge cleaning takes a hit with it on as well, as it doesn't want to bump into anything, so for the time being, I have the feature turned off. I think it would probably prove handy in busier homes, and especially homes with kids and pets. The idea with these style bots is that they do it all, vacuum and mop, and adjust between the different cleaning tasks automatically. It self-cleans too, allowing lots of hands-off cleaning. The dock is easy to set up. Plug the dock in, fill up the clean water tank, and connect the robot to the app. In my home, I have it set up in my living room, but with all the mopping and auto washing, setting it up on hard floors is more ideal, so this isn't the dock's permanent home. The dock wants space on both sides of it, but setting it up here next to my love seat hasn't been an issue. The dock auto-empties the robot's dirt cup into a disposable bag, washes the mop pads with 131-degree hot water, and when finished, dries the mop pads. If mopping lots of flooring, the robot will return to the dock mid-job to refill its water tank, wash the mop pads, and continue where it left off. All of this seems to work well, and I'll go over how to take care of the dock shortly. During its first run, the robot creates a map of your home, which then opens up all kinds of cleaning options within the app. I first set the dock up next to a doorway, which confused the robot, but relocating and running the mapping sequence again solved all the issues I initially encountered. Let's see how the robot cleans. On this red rug, I've ground in a bunch of fake pet hair, and I've also added a bunch of glitter. Using the app, I set the robot to clean this smaller area twice, though the one-pass edge cleaning around my kitchen table affected the coverage. Robots are great maintenance cleaners, and it got most of it, but not all of it. Overall, though, it did pretty well. I wanted to take this opportunity to show the mop lifting function as well. It does clear this red rug 95% of the time, but it's still rubbed occasionally. This is a pretty thin rug, so don't be surprised if the mop pads rub on thicker carpeting in your home as it vacuums. Next, I wanted to test the tangle-free function of the robot. I put down a small quantity of 5-inch hair, and it picked it right up. Checking the brush roll afterwards, though, some hair migrated to the ends of the rubber brush roll, so it's a good idea to check the brush roll regularly and clean any hair or thread that's wrapped up around the ends. Next, I had the X2 Omni vacuum my living room carpeting, putting down a bunch of different debris: rice, shredded paper, oats, and parsley. Just to see how it would affect the carpet lines the robot leaves, I took the mop pads off for this test. I had the robot clean the room twice during this run, a feature I like a lot. It'll first border the room, then vacuum the room in straight lines, and for the second pass, it will go over the floor again in a different direction. The 2-pass run helps overall pick up a lot, and I use it often. The robot did pretty well, but it struggled a bit with the shredded paper. To see if it made a difference, I put the mop pads back on and ran it again. The result of the second run was excellent, and it got all the debris I put down aside from a couple small pieces. The carpet lines don't seem much different with or without the mop pads attached. Overall, it was an impressive result and a step up from my previous Ecovacs robot. For the next test, let's see how it does just vacuuming floors without mopping. The exhaust of the machine did blow around some light debris, so I would like if Ecovacs angled the exhaust vent upwards instead of at floor level. But the side brush didn't scatter much, and it generally made clean sweeps across the floor, delivering an excellent result. To test the mopping ability, I put down a bunch of soy sauce and let it dry and get stuck onto the floor. I had the X2 mop my kitchen in its standard mopping mode with medium water output. It did pretty well, but required a second run. The second time, I tried the robot's deep mopping mode, where it makes more overlapping passes. This delivered an excellent result, and it picked up nearly all of it. In terms of mopping performance, this robot does better than any I've tested. Here's how the pads looked after both cleaning runs, and here's how they cleaned up after the robot washed them. I was worried about the pads getting stained from this test, so after this I hand washed them with a little soap, and to my surprise, they were already clean. The hot water wash of the robot works very well. I did one final test to show off the product's best feature, the ability to vacuum the floors and mop them at the same time. For daily cleaning, this is where the product really shines, picking up crumbs and daily tracked-in dirt while at the same time mopping the floors clean. If you have lots of hard floors in your home, this is pretty awesome. The result after running both at the same time was excellent. It did a fantastic job and hardly left anything behind. As far as maintenance, when you open the lid of the dock to access the tanks, there's a nice visual of everything you should keep an eye on, but I'll go over a few things as well. Inside the robot's dirt bin, there's a pleated filter that should be checked and cleaned regularly. You should also check the mesh screen and the dirt cup, as they'll both clog over time. Both the dirt cup and filter are washable, but I find the easiest way to clean them off is to use another vacuum. Cleaning the filter regularly will help prolong the life of it and keep the robot working as best it can. Remove the brush roll and clean any hair or thread that's built up around the ends, and clean the housing the brush roll sits in. The ends of the brush roll are removable and just pull off, so occasionally check and clean them. When you put the brush roll back in, make sure the bottom plate is reinstalled correctly. Using a soft dusting brush or cloth, gently clean all the sensors around the outside and front of the Deebot. On the bottom of the dock, there's a tray they call a sink, which you should check regularly. The sink fills and empties on its own as it washes the mop pads. The sink needs to stay clear of debris because if it clogs, it can be messy to clean. It unlocks and pulls out for cleaning, or the robot has an assisted cleaning cycle you can perform through the app. The disposable bag is large and just pulls out. It self-seals and the new bag just slides in, lining the cardboard collar up with the plastic guide. When you empty the dirty water tank, I would occasionally wash it out with soap as sediments will build up on the bottom of it over time. That's about it. It's pretty easy to take care of. So there you have it. Overall, I'm very impressed with the Ecovacs Deebot X2 Omni. It cleans well on carpeting and has the best mopping performance of any robot I've tested. The robot is loaded with tech and features and tries to be as hands-off as possible. It switches from vacuuming to mopping automatically, self-empties, and self-washes. My only complaints are that the mop pads still rub on my medium pile plush carpeting. They raise 15 millimeters, but in my home, they still touch carpet. Of course, you can remove the mop pads when cleaning carpeting as well to avoid any contact if you're worried about that. The navigation is good, but could be a little bit more refined. Overall coverage is great, with the exception of occasional missed parts and wider turns when edging the room. With AI/VI assistance turned on, it's more gentle, but that takes a hit to edge cleaning as well. I would also really like the option to have it edge clean rooms twice during a single run, which would help overall coverage and results. I would prefer if the dirt bin were larger or if the robot could tell when the dirt bin is full. It does include a feature where you can have it empty more often during use, which is a great idea for busier homes where the robot will find lots of hair and dirt. A larger HEPA filter and mesh screen in the dirt bin would be welcome too. Overall, I'm impressed. It's the best performing mopping robot I've ever tested, thanks to the very good mop pads and generous amount of water it can put down onto the floor. If hard floor cleaning and mopping performance is important to you, this is a great option. The X2 Omni is high-end and currently retails for $14.99, a huge investment. Ecovacs runs sales occasionally, so I would keep an eye out if you're trying to save some money on one. I always enjoy reading your comments. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Thank you for watching and have a great day.